There's a version of them, and sometimes there's no more Mr. Nice Guy. All it is Jekyll and Hyde, and they're two different people. Have you ever known someone who flip-flopped back and forth between two different personalities? Have you known a joker that was two-faced? A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, and you can best believe that's a narcissist. There was a version of them that you fell in love with, mask on. And then there's a version of them that they actually are, mask off. Of course you fell in love with Jekyll. Of course Jekyll would be the first face that they show you. Jekyll presented himself as kind and rational, logical. He appeared to have morals. He was socially acceptable. And then there's Hyde. Hyde would be the person that you mostly saw in private. Hyde had a dark side. Hyde was cruel and violent. Sometimes a narcissist would flip back and forth between these two characters in a jiffy, sometimes within the same hour, within the same minute, within the same day. And this was a constant switching back and forth, depending on the situation, depending on what was going on. I can't tell you the number of times that the narcissist has gone off on me, snapped on me, and cussed me out. And right in the middle of it, he would just haul off and say he was sorry. Mostly, I think it was triggered by the look on my face. He would just bust out and say, "I'm sorry." And sometimes, depending on my reaction, he would go right back to snapping. After the narcissist cusses you out and apologizes, they expect for you to go right back to smiling again as if nothing ever happened, because that is how they live their life. And if you don't smile fast enough, they get instantly mad again. You might get cussed out in round number 2. If a narcissist see you crying, they won't ever respond to your tears with tears also. You won't get any sympathy, you won't get any empathy. You may be even ignored. If they do acknowledge the fact that you're crying, they're going to be doing so to tear you down some more. They're going to make you feel even worse. They're going to give you a bunch of lectures on why you should not be crying. They're going to tell you that it's not their fault. They're going to say whatever they need to say to make you feel bad about yourself, because the blame can never be placed on them. After all, they're perfect. There was a version of them that you fell in love with because you thought it was so true. It seemed so real. They were such good actors. This is exactly what they were doing. They were acting and they played a role. And I had the narcissist tell me after the divorce that is exactly what he did. He told me he was playing a character from a movie to get me to fall in love with him. And that's exactly what happened. I did fall for that character. When they're being Jekyll, they are presenting everything from your head fantasies. They're going to be literally the man of your dreams. All they did was sit and study you, and they mimicked your behavior. They projected an image to you that you fell in love with. You fell in love with a Jekyll that was playing a joke. The Jekyll was good at fooling you and fooling others all around you as well. The Jekyll is good at acting the part in public. When you get home, you're going to meet Hyde. Hyde is the one who likes to hide behind closed doors. Hyde is the one who likes to punish you in private. Hyde is the one who likes to beat up on you behind the scenes. Living in a house with Jekyll and Hyde is like a box of Cracker Jacks, because you never know what you're going to get. You don't know what prize is lurking for you down at the bottom of the box. And speaking of the box, you don't know what jack is going to pop out of the box. This constant flip-flop back and forth between Jekyll and Hyde keeps your mind in a state of confusion. It keeps your mind constantly wanting to chase the version that you fell in love with at the very beginning. It keeps your mind constantly wondering where this person went. Why do they keep going into hiding? Why can't you see them permanently? Everyone has good days and not so good days, but you do not deserve someone who is constantly flipping back and forth between evil and fake good. You deserve someone who is stable. You deserve someone who has a sound mind. You deserve to be with a person who is not operating in fear. You deserve a person who operates in love and they actually love you. You deserve a person that is not going to leave you and forsake you. They're not going to keep changing personalities on you. In order for a house to be built, it has to be done so on a stable, firm foundation. And you're not going to find this with a narcissist. Flipping back and forth between Jekyll and Hyde is not decent and it's not in order. There is no way you can follow someone as your leader who is constantly flipping back and forth between Jekyll and Hyde. How will you follow them if you don't know who they are? They don't know who they are. You keep looking for Mr. Nice Feller, and he keeps changing with the weather. Once you see a narcissist's true face, you can't unsee it. Once you see a narcissist's true face and their true self, you cannot pretend that you didn't. There is no amount of darkness that's going to be hide in the light. There is no amount of darkness that's going to be able to hide in the light. The light will always cast out darkness. Anytime you are around a narcissist, the truth will be revealed. The light exposes all truths. They can only pretend and hide for so long around you. Don't let the fact that you saw their true colors shining through turn you blue. It can be a hard fact to accept, but it should not make you sad. You should look at it as information that you need to pick up and live a better life. You do not deserve to be mistreated and dogged out because someone could not keep their mask on. You don't want to be with someone who has to wear a mask to begin with. You want to be with someone who is real, who can keep it real. Neither Jekyll nor Hyde can treat you as the good thing that you are. They both are fake. Real should recognize real. Take yourself out of the ping pong match with Jekyll and Hyde. Do not allow them to toss you back and forth between their two personalities. You deserve someone after God's own heart. You deserve someone who worships God in spirit and in truth. You deserve someone who is steadfast and unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, not being double-minded, not being tossed to and fro with the wind, not being lukewarm, not being both Jekyll and Hyde. You deserve someone who will walk beside you in agreement and show you their true face, not someone pulling you along and showing you two faces. The next time you yoke yourself up with someone, please make sure that you can see their marvelous light.